and destiny have met 7 times before. Tonight is number 8.
Tennessee Volunteers have wrapped up an SEC outright regular season title. Connect with
the SEC runs through Rocky Top. Tennessee wins the SEC regular season crown for the 2nd consecutive season.
the 1-0. Indiana, left center field, cross on the move, walk it there. Tennessee walks it off. It's a mismatch. Deep range. Come on now. And don't connect. Probably trying this time. Indeed. But new hand jam. Down the middle. Got it. The fly is high and again. And he's going to take it. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Hey, how much fun is this?
Man, Rocky Top, this is college football at its absolute.
This is college athletics at its absolute best, and boy, are we ramping it up. We are another week closer to Christmas. This is got to be the busiest month of college athletics there's ever is, in my opinion, but it's Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. Eastern, which means it is the last time we will be going live on Thursday nights. I am your host, Skylar, my co-host, Michael, and my Grinch impersonation. What is up, my guy? How are we doing tonight?
Man, we are doing fantastic. We're here once again getting to talk about ball, getting to talk about Tennessee ball, really just getting to talk about college football in general tonight. Is we got some news from Tennessee athletics, but mainly we're just going to be talking about some of the CFP teams, talking about some bowl games in general tonight. And we're not Vanderbilt fans, so because they're crying everywhere right now, and you know that's the best thing about all of it. But sorry, little bro, just had to shoot those, kind of just throw that out there. But finally getting healthy as had another week this past week where it took a bit of a downturn as far as lost my voice, had a bad sinus infection, and finally got that back tonight. But man, how you doing?
Man, kind of the same. I'm kind of in my own little funk right now too, but doctor said I'm fine, so I'm chilling. No, we're making it. The Vanderbilt thing. As long as you're not talking about the Heisman, I mean, they kind of have a reason to gripe, right? If we're talking playoff.
I'm just talking about in general. I mean, between Diego Pavia getting snubbed from the Heisman,
F the voters.
Which I told you was gonna happen. I didn't agree with it, but I told you it was gonna happen. Yeah, but between that right there, Vandy not making the playoffs, them being bitter about Jalen Carey being a star for Tennessee now, even though they claim that they don't care. It's all in general, kind of Vanderbilt fans.
Well, I want to know a little bit about what we're talking about, but before I ask you that, Michael, I would like to let the folks know who our presenting show sponsor is, and that is Chris Smith Insurance. As a homeowner, Chris Smith was once let down by an insurance company. So he started his own agency where instead of feeling like a big company is fighting against you, you'll know that your agent is fighting for you. All insurance is not equal. Trust the Chris Smith Insurance right here in Oak Ridge. Give them a call today at 865-272-3387. Again, that's 865-272-3387. Chris is not just going to find you the best rates, guys. A lot of insurance agents can do that actually, but what he's going to do is find you the best rates for the best coverage, because believe me when I say this, and in the industry I'm in, I see some of the worst and worst when it comes to insurance and the claims process and whatnot, and the last thing you want to be dealing with, aside from losing your home, your car, or anything like that, is how much you're actually covered for. And that's what Chris Smith does. He gives you the peace of mind to know that you're properly covered to where you really ain't got to worry about anything like that other than making sure you and your family are healthy and safe. So Chris, we appreciate your continued support of the Vol Fanatics Show. This is where I ask Michael, man, we got a lot going on. It's December in college, which means, holy smokes, we've got multiple sports going on. We've got transfer portal window about to open. You already got rumors of folks hitting the portal. What are we talking about tonight?
So tonight, segment 1, we are going to give a little bit of a Tennessee roster update. We're going to give an update of those folks that have declared for the NFL draft, those that have said that they intend to enter the portal as well once it opens up on January the 2nd. And we're going to kind of give our thoughts on the direction that we think Tennessee needs to go as far as different position groups during this transfer portal opening. Number one of those, of course, being quarterback, is there was a quarterback that did enter the portal or put his name into the portal, and one that we don't know if he's coming back or not. So we're going to discuss all of that in segment 1. Segment 2, we're going to look at the college football playoff bracket, and we're going to kind of make our predictions, basically fill out the college football playoff bracket ourselves tonight, see how that works. And then segment 3, we are going to make some picks. It's going to be just for this coming week. So it's only 3 games that we're making picks on, SEC games, that is. And then we will have Jake back on to do some raking with Jake in that segment as well. But let's get right into all this. I will give you our segment 1 sponsor, and that is Optimal Asbestos Services. Optimal Asbestos Services offers detailed asbestos inspections and air quality assessments. Whether you're looking to secure your home or workplace, you can trust Optimal Asbestos Services to deliver thorough and reliable solutions. Contact Jeff Mull at 865-223-3297 for your consultation today, or go on the web at optimalasbestosservices.com. So, Skylar, where do you want to start with this? Do you want to go into players that have declared for the draft, or go into players that have entered their name into the portal, even though it's not officially open yet?
I mean, let's start with the draft. Let's start high vibes, good vibes, folks that I believe deserve to be there. And kudos to them for taking that chance. And I'll start with the very first one because I'm kind of shocked that he did it. But Arion Carter, linebacker, declaring for the draft. Stock's pretty high, but I thought that, especially with the defensive coordinator change, that maybe he could bump that draft stock just a little bit. But overall, man, he's been a great guy in the locker room, been that vocal leader that you needed, and he's taken that next step. And I couldn't be more proud of him. I think he's going to do great things in the NFL.
Yeah, 100%, man. Then, of course, we mentioned 2 of them from last week as well that had already entered their name in. Chris Brazzell.
No surprise.
No surprise on that one that he was entering the draft. And then Jermon McCoy also, no surprise on that one either. We kind of figured with his draft stock the way it was, if he did come back to college and there was that chance that he was any less impressive than he was his first season on Rocky Top, then it would only plummet his draft stock. So at least they're getting all of it from what they saw from his sophomore season on Rocky Top. One guy that has not entered, but has also not declared that he's coming back either.
Lance Hurd.
Lance Hurd is one of them, but I was actually going a different direction.
Oh,
Colton Hood. Because he is draft eligible, and there was a post that he made. He put a year 3 check mark, and basically it was a little highlight film of his redshirt sophomore season from this past year. And a lot of Tennessee fans thought that meant, okay, he's going to the draft now. He's gone. He's leaving Tennessee. He came out and clarified and said, this is no indication either way what I plan on doing. So obviously Tennessee would love to have him back for another year because he was very impressive, especially towards the first part of the season. Kind of fell off a little bit towards the back half, but still was very impressive. But he is draft eligible, this being his 3rd official season in college football. So that's one to watch for sure.
Well, and I think in that position in general, I mean, obviously you're hoping to get Ricky Gibson back. You think Ty Redmond's taking some massive steps. But one thing I've learned in the secondary is it never hurts to have depth, because more times than not, in fact, almost every time, you're going to be 2 to 3 deep by the middle of the season. So to have as many guys on deck ready to rock and roll would be very, very helpful for the Vols. There's a better word for that. But no, I mean, especially with the defensive coordinator come in, you still got Willie Martinez as the secondary coach as of right now. But I think even if he came back, and let's face it, I mean he's going to have to fight for a starting job. Now I know that sounds crazy, but I mean Ricky Gibson, Ty Redmond taking that step that he took, I genuinely think that uh, Bowles, no,
Jim Knowles.
Jim Knowles, thank you, Knowles, is actually going to bring in some guys himself from his old defense, especially Penn State. Look for Penn State defensive players to hit the portal. I think we pick one or two up, and so no
And
guarantees.
if I'm not mistaken, there's already one or two that have expressed interest. I know they've already declared for the transfer portal from Penn State, but have declared interest
Yep.
in Tennessee.
Especially
So,
one of the defensive ends that actually had Tennessee in one of their picks when they committed to Penn State. So I mean, yeah, I fully anticipate guys like Colton Hood to even if they came back, they're gonna have to fight for that playing time. And but regardless, I think when you're weighing your options, NIL is definitely at the top of that. Probably could still be making just as much, in college as he could rookie year in NFL. So,
yeah, 100%.
JP Danielson tunes in. We appreciate you on the YouTube. Says Jim Knowles is a great defense coordinator. I've covered him in Oklahoma State, and again when Oklahoma tried to get him before Penn State. Yeah, man, I think he is definitely one of the better defensive coordinators. I'm not even saying that because Tennessee picked him up, but I mean, come on, he was literally on Ohio State staff when they won the Natty last year, and one of the best defenses in the country. And I mean, he's consistently top 10. And just the improvement from year 1 to year 2, or not even year 1 to year 2, but like I would say year 0 to year 1, because when he takes over a defense, the amount of improvement he's able to do in his first year for that defense excites me, because you're coming to Tennessee where you've got like the 90th best total defense. I anticipate Knowles in first year have us in the top 25 in total defense. I'm really excited about it.
So I do think that there's definitely that possibility. I do also know, and he has said it himself, that he does run a very complex defense. And, where you're 100% right as far as, he comes in and normally improves a defense almost right away. There have been times where that first year might not be the best year overall, but really it can't get much worse than 90th overall, like what Tennessee already had. So I do think that we're going to see improvement from last year to this coming year with Jim Knowles. I don't know if I'll say top 25 this year, but I think it should definitely be a top 30 defense, maybe even 35. I mean, we've got the athletes there. It's just a matter of how quick they pick everything up going into this season. So definitely opportunities there. But, I mean, he's got a track record of every single stop he goes to of improving that defense in the first couple of years. I mean, it did take him 3 years at Ohio State, and they had the number 2 overall defense the year that they won the national title back in 24. Oklahoma State, when he was there, I mean, that's whenever Gundy's teams were really good, because Gundy's that offensive-minded guy, and they had fantastic offenses, and then you combine that with Jim Knowles' defense, and that's when Oklahoma State was going, 9 wins, 10 wins, 11 wins whenever he was there. So, I mean, he's got a track record of it, and I think he's going to get Tennessee there as well. It just might take a year or two, in my opinion, on that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But back to NFL or draft declarations. Let me put it that way. You got anybody else top of mind here in that category?
No, you mentioned the only other one that might possibly do it, in my opinion. That would be Lance Hurd, but I just feel like that he's still got a lot left to prove. He had an improvement from last year to this year, but there's still a lot left to be desired from him, and I feel like he would do great with another year in Knoxville. So I don't foresee him declaring for the draft, but I think out of anybody else on the roster, he would probably be the best possibility of doing that.
Has anybody on the defensive line declared?
I've not seen anybody on the defensive line declare so far. I think you might see some guys get invites to pro days, for instance, like Tyree West,
Dominic Bailey, maybe.
Dominic Bailey. I feel like Jackson Moy probably will. So you'll probably see some guys get some invites, but
almost like the guys that can't come back regardless, right?
Correct. Yeah. If there's anybody else, maybe Joshua Josephs, but I feel like that dude's got some unfinished business that he wants to come back to Knoxville for. I don't know if he would end up declare.
I'd hope so because I felt like he definitely had a down year this year.
I agree. Yes.
But well, alrighty then. So let's move on then to, I guess, portal updates. What you got?
So portal updates, obviously the biggest one that happened, I believe,
Also, not the
officially
surprise.
yesterday. And you're correct. It wasn't a big surprise. There's been rumblings of this for about the past month and a
We've
half.
talked about it, and my sources were spot on it. We're talking about Jake Merklinger here, and
Yes.
didn't really take a rocket scientist to figure this one out. But between all the quarterback drama Tennessee's facing right now, I think it makes total sense for him to get out. Maybe even go to a smaller school, shine bright, and then come back after a year or two of playing at a G5 level or something like that. But I wish him all the best, man. There's absolutely no animosity towards him and that decision.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like one like Gaston Moore, right? You go somewhere to hope that you get a better chance at starting, and but at the end of the day, he's betting on himself, right? He probably doesn't see a path to the field here at Tennessee anytime soon, so he wants to take a different route and play. And as a guy who played collegiate sports for a little bit, you only get 4 years to play, man. And I don't discredit anybody for trying to.
Do you, or is it 6 or 7 now?
Not supposed to be. Division I years,
Yes.
4 years of Division I. So yeah, I definitely don't blame him for that, and I wish him all the best there. And but now Tennessee's left with obviously redshirt freshman George McIntyre, incoming freshman, and Fajon Brandon, and then is Joey Aguilar coming back?
So that's a discussion that I'd like to have next. I do want to give my thoughts on Jake Merklinger because you hit the nail on the head. I mean, the guy wants to go play. And if he decided to stay, we would have 3 scholarship quarterbacks next year that all of them are uber talented, but there would not be one guy there that would have a clear, head start over anybody. It would literally be a 3-way battle the entire offseason, that there'd be no guarantee that Merklinger would win. I think he would be given every single opportunity in the world to win that job. And he's probably, if there is an advantage for anybody, he's probably got the biggest advantage because he's got 2 years under Josh Heupel's system at this point. So he's got the most experience under that system there. But he's a competitor. He wants to go out and play. And I agree. I think he's going to go to some sort of G5 or a lower tier Power 4 school. And he's going to shine. I mean, he's going to be the starter right away. And I think he's going to shine. And I would not be surprised if you saw him at a school, say like, Auburn or South Carolina or even a Missouri, somewhere like that might not be top tier like Georgia, Alabama, Texas, that type of tier, but that's going to play at a bigger school eventually before his career is over with. I mean, he's got that kind of talent, but he just wants to play ball. And I've got no hard feelings towards him at all either. But I do have a question for you that we've kind of semi-discussed before. Do you think if the spring portal was still a thing before they did away with it, do you think he sticks around through spring practice just to kind of see where he stands, or do you think he still enters at this point in the season?
Jake Merklinger in this situation, I think he was gone regardless. I in fact, yeah, because right now it's still not even guaranteed that that Joey's back and he's made this decision. Let's say if he waited till the spring portal and then he knows for a fact that Joey is coming back, then he's going to really wish that he had, that 3 or 4 months he could have been at another team, going through spring training with another team. He's just been that much ahead of the game with that other team. So, yeah, I think in this situation, in particular with Jake Merklinger and with the windows and whatnot, I think he would have still left in this early portal window. Like I said, in just this specific situation.
Yeah, I mean, you could be 100% right on that one. I just kind of had the feeling that if the spring portal was still a thing, that, he might decide to stick around and kind of see where Heupel kind of had his game plan.
And I understand that 100%. I think most players probably would, especially if they have a legitimate shot at starting, and maybe the spring just didn't go the way they wanted it to. But I think that spring window is not necessarily one that, how do I want to say, like, that should be the absolute safety net of safety nets for players to transfer. Like that, it's not like they should be testing the waters in the spring and then hitting the portal during that window to get like that. That's got to be like a, in my opinion, because you're just so behind the eight ball, because you get maybe like summer camp, which you don't really practice. And then you get the 15 fall camp practices before game week. And that's all you get with that team that you transfer to once you take that spring window. So I don't know, but I think in this situation, I think most players are going to transfer in this early window regardless.
Yeah, you could be right on that one. Regardless, there's going to be a lot more players have to make that tough decision to go ahead and either enter early instead of, staying like they would, kind of see where things are and then hit the portal. Because if you stick around past this opening portal window, there's not another one now. So you're there until, basically the end of next season, unless you just completely up and leave schools type of deal. But
that's right. I do think it's a little bit easier for the players at Tennessee to go ahead and enter if they want to enter. Because yes, they have a bowl game to play for, but it's not a natty on the line. It's nothing that I don't know how to explain, but I mean, because as a fan, I love to watch my team play. So like, to me, a bowl game is still important, but obviously they'll miss the bowl game to go wherever they want to go. Whereas on the flip side, if you're chasing a natty, that's going to be a lot harder to ditch your team unless you're Lane Kiffin, to obviously better yourself. So I think for Tennessee's sake, the moment this thing opens, you'll see pretty much everybody you're going to see enter pretty soon, because they're going to want that time to search for that new team. So I just don't see anybody like, let's say you got 2 days left in the window. I don't see a lot of Tennessee players waiting to that last minute, that last day, unless they're in the process of negotiating a deal and it just doesn't work. I don't know, which you're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see a player threaten to leave just to work out a better deal. And I'm not looking forward to those days, but that's just how it is in the college football world now.
Yeah, 100%. So let's go to the other part that that you were talking about, as far as, will Joey Aguilar get another year? And I think that there is a distinct possibility that he would get another year. However, if you're in Tennessee's shoes, I don't think you can wait around for that decision, because that decision probably will not come until sometime around the time for spring practice. I just feel like the NCAA, they're going to wait that long to do it. So at that point, Tennessee right now, let's just take Joey Aguilar out of the equation, because technically he's out of eligibility at this moment. You've got 2 scholarship quarterbacks on the roster now. You've got George McIntyre, Faison Brandon. And as much as we all want to believe one of those guys is going to be the guy, and I think they could be,
they're going to have to prove it.
They're going to have to prove it, but you need a third person on the roster.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, they're going to have to prove it against a guy that's worthy of starting. And then that way, if Faison or George McIntyre ends up being QB1 come fall, then they beat out the guy you went and got in the portal to go be quarterback 1. So to get where you're going with this, yes, Josh Heupel's got to go get a guy.
Yes. That's 100% where I was going with this.
You got to go get a guy. I don't care who, because this coaching staff has proven to me that no matter who they get, they can get the best out of them, even if they only have a summer to work with them. So I don't care who you get out of the portal. I trust whoever you get out of the portal. But you got to go get a guy. And then if Joey comes back, you make him earn that spot again. And it's not even like as a punishment to Joey. I just think that's just how it is. And then, it'd just be super unfortunate if you get a guy through the portal and then Joey does get that granted extra year. But that's where, I mean, like, that's life, bro. Like, you got to make decisions best for you. That's why I don't anticipate us getting a big hotshot name. Like, I'm seeing, like, Sorsby and Sam Levitt, and like, I don't see Tennessee being able to land a quarterback like that. But if we do, then obviously if Joey doesn't come back, we're great. But I just think it gets really muddy if you go land a quarterback like that and then Joey's able to come back And then I think it could almost get a little toxic in that quarterback room. So that's exactly what I don't want. But I don't know. You got to go get somebody, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. And I agree with you. It doesn't really matter who you get because they're going to get the best out of them. In my opinion, you need somebody that you know can go out there and they can win you ball games. But I don't know if you necessarily need a star. Like, for instance, DJ Lagway entered the portal. Tennessee does not need to go after DJ Lagway. First off, I don't think he is quite as good as what everybody said. I think that he proved it this past year at Florida. You just need to get a guy that you know can be that starter, but that the guys that you've got in the room now can compete with. And if they prove that they can beat him out, then they deserve to be the starter. Kind of like what we talked about this past year. You had Jake Merklinger and you had George McIntyre there. I was saying all along, you need to get a guy that when you bring him in, you're going to tell him, okay, you can compete for this starting job. And it just worked out that Joey Aguilar went out there and he proved this is my job. And he got that job and he kept it the entire season long. Luckily, he didn't get hurt either. So he was your starting quarterback the whole season. You're going to have to get somebody like that again this year that you know can be the starter, but that he also needs to know it's not a guarantee. I've got to work my butt off to make sure that I am this starter.
That's correct. So, no, I mean, overall, I'm kind of in agreement with you. There is obviously a chance he can come back, but I don't see how Tennessee can sit there and just wait on it.
Yeah, 100%.
Unless they're just uber confident in the fact that they can get George or Fajon ready to rock and roll. But you just got to have three. You got to have 3 scholarship quarterbacks, man. Got to have 3.
Yep. And really the rest of the portal room has not changed much. We mentioned last week, Boo Carter, of course, entered the portal. Jamal Wallace, defensive lineman, entered the portal. Kellen Lindstrom, Brendan Ains. One new name that popped up this past week is Marcus Goree Jr. He is a corner. All of these guys are 3 stars, of course, except for Boo Carter. Even Jake Merklinger listed as a 3-star, although that's misleading. He was a 4-star coming in to Tennessee. And then after a couple of camps towards the end of his senior season of high school, they ended up moving him down to 3-star. I mean, say what you will do is a 4-star, 100%. But those are the names for Tennessee right now that are projected to enter the portal. And of those names that I see, the only one that stands out to me as a guy that would possibly compete as a starter is Jake Merklinger. The rest of them, it's guys that they see the writing on the wall. I'm not going to be competing for that playing time like I want to. I want to go somewhere else and play. And Jake Merklinger is the same way. He wants to make sure that he's going to play somewhere. But he would have an opportunity at Tennessee to compete for that starting job where the rest of these guys, they're not going to.
Right on.
So only other thing I wanted to say is, we're still going to have time to talk about it because transfer portal has not opened yet. But where does Tennessee need to hit the portal the hardest at as far as the roster goes? Obviously you need a quarterback because you need that third one on the roster. I think you hit the nail on the head with that right there. Safety.
Yeah, it's safety. All day long safety. Safety, and I'd even say linebacker.
I would say linebacker as well, more for the depth over anything.
Yeah, because especially with you losing Arion Carter, which I did not expect. But yeah, I think it doesn't hurt to have a dog at linebacker.
I think
nice to hear T. Lander say some words about Knowles. I think he's going to stick around. Which is great. You got Jay Perlotti, you got Ed Spillman. Like, don't get me wrong, those are the dog, but just add another. I mean, what's it going to hurt? Add another, improve that room, and yeah, that's just definitely defensive side of the ball. I think offensively you're going to be fine.
Yeah, and I think probably corner as well, if nothing else, the depth there as well.
See, that just, to me, it all depends on if Colton Hood's coming back or not. Because if Colton Hood's coming back, then I think you got plenty of corners that are able. In fact, I would almost say that you probably need to move a corner to a safety position. But then again, I understand. We're in line. I mean, defensively, that's where you gotta improve defensively. At this point, I don't care if it's experience. I don't care if it's a player that we had this last year and it's a familiar name. Like, I want a dog. I don't care. Like, we need better defensive players. just because they're experienced doesn't necessarily mean they're better. Okay, so gotta go improve that side of the ball.
Yeah, I will say if there is a position on the offensive side of the ball, I mean, you can never have too many capable offensive linemen. If you
No,
see a guy
yeah.
that you feel like you can go out there and you can get,
Guards, center, tackles, because tackles are gonna get hurt.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
I agree with that.
go ahead and get an offensive lineman. But I think that, you know, quarterback, you're fine. Well, I mean, quarterback, you need somebody. Running back, you're fine. Wide receiver, you're fine. Tight end, you're fine. It's gonna be the O line.
Yep,
Yeah, if there is one. So
I hear you, big dog. Well, all right. We want to move forward, or do you got anything else left on portal updates and draft news?
now let's go ahead to the CFP bracket. And do you want to give us our segment 2 sponsor?
Yeah, you got it, big dog. It is P&L Business Services. We know firsthand that getting your monthly reporting, invoicing, bill pay, taxes, and other essential business services right is critical. That's why at P&L Business Services, we go beyond bookkeeping by providing you with everything you need in your back office so you can have your time back and the peace of mind to do what you love most, which is building your business. Behind every successful business is a great bookkeeper. Guys, if you're an entrepreneur trying to take on this thing head on, maybe even trying to do it alone, I don't know, but it is hard doing it all, right? So in order to stay at the top of the game and continue on that great customer service, let the folks at P&L Business Services handle everything on the back end. Get you ready for tax season. Have you not that stressed come February, March, April, whatever. But seriously, if you could just go online, if this is you, if you feel like this could be in any way a benefit to you and your company, just go online to pnlbusinessservices.com. Again, their business is located in Oak Ridge, Tennessee as well. And man, the fine folks there will definitely hook you up, get you on a monthly plan, and get you all set up and taken care of. And I will just go ahead and drop you this nugget. It's better to do it now than to wait till February and March when they're freaking swamped with everything else. So go ahead, get signed up, let the folks help you, and then that way you can continue growing your business and scaling your business. We appreciate you, P&L Business Services, for your continued support.
Yeah, and Skylar, if you would give me just a minute, we got some storms going on out here. I need to go out and check on my dogs real quick.
Yeah, go for it, man.
So yeah,
I seen you worried about something, so
yeah. So I know you can feel some time here.
Well, I mean, we're gonna talk about CFP, brother, and I'll see if we got some folks watching, see if they can't get it. But we're gonna be talking about the very first game. You go do your thing, man.
All right, man.
So yeah, what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about Oklahoma and Alabama coming up tomorrow, Friday, December 19th. It is on the ABC network. It is the rematch of this season, but really it's in the last 13 months these teams have played each other. Now this will be the third time. This will be, I think, twice in Norman, but they actually did play in Alabama earlier this year. But man, the headlines in this game is kind of insane, right? First round of the playoffs, Oklahoma's hosting it. Kalen DeBoer is 0-2 versus Oklahoma now. Does he go 0-3? And then to further that question, for the folks watching, we appreciate you. But if he goes 0-3 versus Oklahoma, how is Todd Faithful feeling? And conversely, what is Kalen DeBoer thinking? I'm not going to beat around the bush. I mean, the Michigan job's still open, right? And Kalen DeBoer had opportunities to shut that thing down, basically saying that he's happy in Alabama and whatnot, but he hasn't really done that. So I am very intrigued by this game. I personally, and we'll predict this game later, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of give you guys a foreshadow of my prediction, but I personally do not see Alabama losing this game 3 times in a row, mostly because of the storylines that I think come from it. Me as a Tennessee fan, boy, I would love it. I would love it. I would love nothing more than to watch Alabama lose, and more than that, just kind of like watch the fan base spiral, right? What are we doing? You know, that would be like Kalen DeBoer's like 8th loss, I think, at Alabama. I may be wrong on that. I may be stretching it, but sounds about right. I think it would be his 8th loss because they lost the bowl game. Yeah, they lost 4 games last year. So if they lose this game to Oklahoma, that'd be Kalen DeBoer's 8th loss in 2 seasons at Alabama. Definitely some unfamiliar territory for the fans. So Michael, it looks like he's joining us back. But, man, I was just talking about this game, Oklahoma, Alabama, and I was definitely taking a one-sided take on I feel like this is a gotta-have-it game for Alabama, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. It's a gotta-have-it game for multiple reasons. I mean, in my opinion, and, we discussed this last week, and I agree with you, but I disagree with you at the same time that, Alabama, they deserved but didn't deserve their spot in the college football playoff. The body of work was 100% there. The teams that they beat in the regular season, we're not going to get into this whole discussion again because we made our points last week. And I think both of us had valid points. The body of work in the regular season is there. You beat the best team in the conference, the team that ended up beating you in the conference title game in the regular season. You beat multiple good teams in the regular season. However, you also had the worst loss of any of these college football playoff teams as well in that Florida State game at the beginning of the season that cannot be overlooked. And your third loss came in the conference title game. And, of course, I mentioned last week, BYU's second loss came in the conference title game to a team that they lost to twice. Now, granted, they did not beat any very talented opponents throughout the rest of the season, but I felt like Alabama shouldn't have been rewarded for losing that conference title game if you're also going to punish BYU for being left out. However, Alabama is in, and this comes after a season where they were left out of the playoffs.
I agree with that take, but you're mad at the wrong team. You should be mad at Miami.
No, I completely agree.
Like BYU should have been in over Miami. 1,000%.
I completely agree. And like I said, we made our points last week on that. Yeah. If anybody wants to look at that, make sure that you go back to last week's episode where we had about an hour-long discussion talking about the entire CFP and our thoughts on it. Oh, we both did. It was fun. It's nice to have the differing opinions like that.
That's right.
But yes, Alabama, you missed the playoffs last year in Kalen DeBoer's first year, and this is a team that is not used to being left out of a playoff like that. I mean, you look at the last decade and a half under Nick Saban, even going on 2 decades.
Yep.
And they were all the time in the running. If they got left out, then even Nick Saban was receiving heat at that point. So if Alabama had been left out 2 years in a row, I've got a feeling that Kalen DeBoer, he might not be coming back next season.
Well, that leads me to my next. I mean, that's kind of what I've already told the viewers here is if Kalen DeBoer loses this game, that'll be the 3rd in a row against Oklahoma. That would also be his 8th loss in 2 seasons at Alabama, and that's hard to fathom because he's had successful seasons, but he went 9-4 after the just absolute mollywopped game against Michigan in the bowl game last year. And then this year, if he goes and loses this game, they'd be 10-4. So I mean, overall, he'd be 19-8 at Alabama. And I just the Michigan game or the Michigan job is still wide open. And he's not come out and declared no, he's happy at Alabama. He's not came out and said that. So I think this game is so important based on what transpires from it. Regardless, either way, right? Because if they go and they beat Oklahoma, hunky-dory, he's the coach at Alabama, and then Michigan's in shambles on who to hire as their next head coach, if it's an interim or whatever. And then Oklahoma's going to be fine. Brent Venables absolutely kind of got on track of expectations. I'm not going to say he exceeded them, but this is exactly where Oklahoma fans wanted to be and deserved to be. But if Kalen DeBoer loses this game, man, I think things are very uneasy in Tuscaloosa, and I would like to pop some popcorn and watch all of that. So, I don't know. I didn't know if we were who do you think actually has the edge in this game? Because I genuinely think if Alabama plays their brand of ball, one thing Oklahoma has going for them is their defense. But I seriously think Oklahoma's offense is handcuffed. And I think that's where Alabama has the upper edge, because I think if everything comes together for Alabama, they have the offense to outpace John Mateer. And even though Alabama's defense is a little bit more suspect, I just think their offense can kind of help make up for that if they're on. If Ryan Williams is back and not shut down like he has been in some of these games here recently.
I agree with you that I think that Oklahoma's offense, it is kind of handcuffed. The defense is there. The defense is elite.
100%.
I do think
You can
that
almost
Alabama's,
guarantee a defensive touchdown for Oklahoma. And
yes, 100%. You can guarantee multiple turnovers in this contest as well for Oklahoma's defense. And Alabama's offense has definitely got the ability to put up points against this Oklahoma defense, which would give them an advantage. However, this is my biggest X factor out of all of it. I think Oklahoma's got nothing to lose. And I think all the pressure is on Alabama. Alabama has expectations every single year, regardless of who the coach is, to go out and win a national title.
That's right.
And I think Oklahoma's got those expectations as well, but not to the point as Alabama does, because of who their coach was over the last 2 decades and the success that they had. Oklahoma this season, in my opinion, and Oklahoma insiders might disagree with me on this, I think Oklahoma's goal was to make the playoffs. I don't think that they had any aspirations of going out and winning a title. So, in my opinion, they've succeeded this year, because I had them going 6-6 and Brent Venables being fired at the end of the year. I just didn't have any belief in it. But they're in the playoffs right now, and I think all the pressure is on Alabama. So I think Oklahoma wins this ball game again and knocks Alabama out.
Oh, we're picking it. I like it. All right. All right. Are we filling out our bracket yet? What are we doing here? Because I'm excited about that.
Yeah. So we can either fill out a bracket here, or we can just kind of talk through the matchups. And I know I basically just gave my pick for the pick segment coming up. But,
well, and I kind of did mine as well. So because I'm taking Alabama, and I told the viewers that I can't visualize Alabama losing this game 3 times in a row in the last 13 months. Like, that to me is just like, I can't see it happening.
So what we can do here? So we can kind of combine this CFP bracket with our pick segment, because the only 3 picks that we're making this week
is on
are
CFP.
from the SEC CFP. So
let's do it, and then we'll just make segment 3 with Jake. How about that?
Yeah, that'll be just with Jake. So let me get the Alabama Oklahoma graphic up here as well. That way we have the lines and everything in there as well. So give me just one second.
I am going to work on.
All right.
Let's see.
So yeah, Alabama, Oklahoma. This game is going to be tomorrow night. It's the one college football playoff game tomorrow night. The game is in Norman, Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a 1-point favorite. The total in this contest is 41.5 points.
Yes, it's very low. And JP Daniels, we appreciate you so much for being tuned in right here on the YouTube channel. To give you that exact answer, the series record, Oklahoma leads it 5-2-1. I don't know how you get the tie in there, but Oklahoma, I mean, and granted, they were 3-2-1 until the last 12 months, really. So yeah, they're 5-2-1 at the moment. So Oklahoma went. Whoo! All right. You picked yours. I'm gonna pick my. Like I said, I think Alabama wins this game. I see it actually hitting the over, because I think both games prior, have actually hit the under by a lot. And I see it converse. I see it so opposite. I think with these teams having a whole month to get healthy and game plan and whatnot, I think it may start a little slow, but I could absolutely see like a 34-27 ball game here. And I'm gonna take Alabama, and I'm not even gonna say to pull the upset here, because Oklahoma's only a 1-point favorite at home. So I will take Alabama to win. I just can't get over the storylines, man, if they lose. Like, I would love it. In fact, I'm kind of like hedge betting it in my mind a little bit, because I want Alabama to lose, just because I want to see that fan base in shambles. I want to see them kind of panic a little bit. I want to see what happens. Is Kalen DeBoer back if he loses this game? Like, there's so many storylines that come from this game if Alabama loses that I think that God loves me, but not that much. And so I'm going to take Alabama to win.
All right. So kind of differing opinions on that one there. So going into the next game.
And apparently John Mateer, according to JP Daniels, is fully healthy.
And I do think that can be a factor for sure. Because we hadn't seen a healthy John Mateer since beginning of the season. And healthy John Mateer beginning of the season, granted the competition they played wasn't the best, it was pretty good.
Here's where Alabama's going to struggle, is their run game is cheeks.
Yes.
So 100%. If
100%.
Alabama's going to beat Oklahoma, it's like literally in the hands of Ty Simpson. And if he's healthy at that. So, yeah. Now, if Alabama comes out and has a 100-yard rusher, then watch out, Oklahoma. Y'all could be in for a long night. But Alabama can't run the ball worth crap. So,
yeah, I agree. So, next, let's see, still soreness, but better than he has been.
Got some clarification on that.
Yeah,
he's the healthiest he's been since week 4. Okay.
100%. So next game in the bracket is also going to be the next game that we're picking. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the bracket up. It is Miami going up against Texas A&M. So Skylar, your thoughts on this matchup here before we make picks on it?
My thoughts on this matchup is pretty clear. A&M's a good team. Miami shouldn't even be in it. A&M's going to win the game. It's at home. It's going to be a culture shock for Carson Beck. I see Carson Beck throwing about 3 or 4 picks. I don't even think this is a close game. I think A&M runs away with it. I think this is a blowout. Call it a hot take if you want. I'll be genuinely surprised if it's not. I will say Miami has a really good defense. I don't have that much trust in Carson Beck. I don't have that much trust in Mario Cristobal. I think coaching-wise, A&M has like significantly better of a matchup just coaching-wise. And quarterback-wise for that matter. And A&M's got a feisty defense themselves. I think A&M runs away with this one, wins by double digits.
I mean, I'm not much different than you. I mean, I obviously don't think
I cannot believe you're agreeing with that. I honestly would have thought you would have had it the other way.
No, listen, I have said for the last few years, I'm not a believer in Mario Cristobal. Ever since that Georgia Tech game, when they ran the ball, when they had the lead, had the game won, instead of kneeling down, they fumble it. Georgia Tech gets the ball, ends up winning the game off of that. That was terrible coaching.
That was hilarious.
There is no excuses for that whatsoever. So I don't trust Mario Cristobal as a coach. I don't trust Carson Beck at quarterback. We saw him at Georgia. He does not play the best under pressure. He's either going to throw for 4 touchdowns or he's going to throw for 4 interceptions. Yeah. And I personally think in this game here, it's going to be more towards the 4 interceptions type line.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing as well. I think we're going to see a close matchup throughout the first half because Texas A&M is not a first half team. They've got a stellar defense. South Carolina,
Texas.
Yeah. They've got a stellar defense. And granted, I'll give Miami credit on this. They've got a good defense this year. That was what they lacked last year with Cam Ward at quarterback, was they had a defense that couldn't stop anybody. If you had any sort of defense to go along with that offense that Cam Ward had last year at Miami, that team is competing for a national title. They've got a good defense this year, but they don't have the same talent at quarterback. I don't think they have the same talent at skill players this year. So I think when they come out of the half and Texas A&M finally wakes up like they tend to do all season long, you're going to see Texas A&M pull away in this contest. I've also got Texas A&M winning and winning by multiple scores.
There it is. I cannot believe we agreed on that one. So A&M and A&M to cover. Jake, is that a best bet? All right.
We'll find out shortly.
That's right. What's the next one?
So the next game, it's also the next game and the last game that we'll be picking this week. It is Tulane going up against Ole Miss. This is a rematch from an earlier contest earlier in the season that these two teams had. Don't know why the time is not showing up on there because that is at 3:30 Eastern on Saturday. This game is going to be on TNT. Ole Miss, a 17.5 point favorite.
Valid. I mean, they won by like 35 earlier in the season. So
here's what I will say about this game here. This is two different teams. I think that
you don't
Ole
know
Miss,
that. You don't fully know that yet.
I don't fully know that.
Like you're talking about like Ole Miss being without Lane Kiffin, right? And then you're talking about like Tulane obviously getting better as the season's gone.
That and
well, no, because even Tulane doesn't have their head coach, do they? John Summerall.
To my knowledge, John Summerall is still there. I'm pretty sure he is coaching through the playoffs. Okay. Now, I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I think that sounds right. That sounds right.
I was going to say, if anybody does
I think if he wasn't there, it would be more of a headline about how this game is like head coachless. Because, yeah, I don't think that's the case. I think John Summerall is still there. I think.
Yeah, so if anybody knows otherwise on that, then please correct me. But to my knowledge, he is coaching in this game. And you're right, Ole Miss won 45-10 back on September the 20th, the third game of the season.
Wow, I was like exactly right. That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm not fully sold on Ole Miss, especially without Lane Kiffin. I don't think Trinidad Chambliss is that great of a quarterback.
Come on, Kyron Lacey though, bro.
Kyron Lacey, he is really good.
Yeah, you can't.
I think that was a fantastic pickup. Wasn't he at LSU?
That sounds about right. Lacey, I feel like all the Lacey's played LSU at some point.
Yeah, I agree. No, I feel like Trinidad Chambliss is good, but I don't think he is as good as everyone made him out to be. What did he end up getting? Second team all conference, third team all conference when he
was above Joey, which is absurd.
It should have been Joey over him 100%. So
here's something that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. But I just feel like the moment's too big for Tulane.
It could be, but also here's this one right here as well. I know this is a different team, but this is a team that has been here before. They were in the playoffs last year.
They've been there before, but like, hear me out. They're not getting there because they're the top 10 team in the nation.
I agree with that as well.
They're getting there because of a technicality in the playoff bracket.
And I don't disagree.
And so I just don't see this game being close. I seriously think Ole Miss covers the spread. If they don't, it's because Ole Miss is making a ton of mistakes because they're nervous about being in the playoff themselves. This is the first time Ole Miss has been in the playoffs. So, but I still think, especially against I think this helps Ole Miss so much when they're going up a team that they literally just steamrolled earlier in the year, and then that's their first game in the first round of the playoff. I mean, holy, what a I hate to say this is going to sound really disrespectful, but what a warm-up game in the playoffs. And if Tulane comes out and beats them, congrats. But I'm still going to be sitting here saying that Tulane still got in because of the technicality, not because they're one of the 10 best teams in the nation. But I at the end of the day, I think Ole Miss wins. I don't think it matters that Ole Miss is without Lane Kiffin. I think at the end of the day, when you got some dogs on the offense that they have, I think their defense is way, like, I'm not going to say underrated, but definitely underlooked. And they put in some work this year. I think Ole Miss wins the rematch against Tulane pretty easily.
I think Ole Miss wins. I think Tulane covers in this contest.
That's fair. I mean, it's a big number.
I think it ends up being somewhere around 10 points. So I do think Ole Miss does win. I think they pull away a little bit late.
You realize how mad I'm going to be if they're up by like 17 and a half, or not and a half, but like that's the line. If they're up by 17 in the fourth quarter and like
Tulane scores a late touchdown,
dude, that would be upsetting. But other than that, yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, but I do think that Tulane covers in this one. I feel like, yes, John Summerall is out the door, but as long as he is coaching,
he's donated Tulane, to the NIL. By the way.
Yes, and he has stated, obviously I'm moving on from Tulane, but I want to see Tulane compete. I want to see them do well and continue to build on what we've already put together. And I think that the guys, even though John Summerall is leaving, I think they're rallying around him. I think they're rallying around each other as well. And I think we're going to see something special from Tulane in this contest. Unfortunately, they're going to fall on the losing side of it. But I think that they're going to make a heck of a game out of this one right here.
Right on. Well, we're not picking this one, I guess, technically, even though I think we should as college football playoff. But we're both going to be picking the same team on this one regardless. It is James Madison versus Oregon. That's going to be played this Saturday, 7:30. That's the late game. Man, what a blooper. I'm glad NFL. I'm joking. I'm still gonna be watching this game, but it's James Madison versus Oregon. A 20.5-point favorite Oregon is over JMU, and that's the first round of the playoff bracket. Yeah, it's Oregon by a mile.
I'm going to disagree slightly.
I don't care. I mean, good for you, but it's Oregon by a mile.
Oregon wins this ball game.
You're taking
100%.
You're taking out a major factor in this game.
What's the major factor? Is it
Oregon
Alton
got
Stadium?
embarrassed the way Tennessee got embarrassed last year in the first round of their playoff. So I'm expecting Oregon to absolutely. I'm expecting murder out of Oregon.
They did. They did. They got embarrassed last year, just like Tennessee did. But you know what also happened to Oregon? Their offensive coordinator has gone to Kentucky. And I don't think that can be understated. Because he's not coaching in this contest, to my knowledge. And
I see our buddy down here in the bottom. I know the viewers can't, but he clearly doesn't give a crap's rat butt about that take. He said that does not matter in this game.
It might not. It might not at all. And I 100% agree Oregon's going to win this ball game. But I think instead of the 21.5 number that Action 247 has that line at right now,
21.5 covered.
I think you might see it somewhere around 17.
That's fine.
I think it's a backdoor cover. I think that Oregon wins. James Madison covers. But either way, we've got the same teams moving on in every game, except we do disagree in the Alabama-Oklahoma game.
I'm all right with that. All right. So are we going to go ahead and fill out our bracket?
Let's go ahead.
Because I like the idea of that, yes. Like almost like March Madness style. Let's fill out our bracket.
Yeah. So let's fill it out. So going forward from there, we would have Ohio State on December the 31st going up against the winner of
A&M Miami.
See, it is A&M and Miami. So we both have Texas A&M moving on. So it'd be Texas A&M going up against Ohio State. And oh my, what a matchup this is. You've got two high-powered defenses going up against two pretty dadgum good offenses. Against two coaches, in my opinion, that their demeanors are different. But I think that they coach their teams similarly as far as, what they expect from their teams. I think that Ryan Day has more experience, especially in this type of game right here. And I think that Ohio State does still have the better roster. I think Ohio State does win this ball game. However, I think it's going to be super close. And I think in this ball game, this is going to be one of those times that it's going to hurt Texas A&M that they're not a first half team, because I think that they're going to get behind by somewhere around 10 points, maybe 13 points going into halftime. And I think even though it wouldn't be the first time A&M came back from a deficit. I mean, you came back from 28 down against South Carolina. I think that in this type of game against this type of opponent, that 13, 14, maybe even 10 points that you'd be down to Ohio State is going to be too much, because I don't think they're going to let you come back in that game. So even though Texas A&M makes a furious comeback in the second half, maybe gets it down to 3, I think Ohio State prevails in the end. Very, very, very close.
Michael?
Yes, sir.
Let's recall last year's playoff bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Of the 4
you're
teams that
going
the first round
to
bye,
teams with the buys.
How many of those teams won last year?
They went 0-4. I don't think we're going to see the same thing this year. You might see one or two.
But I don't see it being the opposite either.
No, we're not going to see a 4-0.
You're going to see some teams drop in the second round that had a first round bye.
I just don't know if this is the game.
It depends, in my opinion. I'm gonna ride with you. I don't see Ohio State repeating though. Like that's the hardest thing I have. Like, how am I going to pick a team to win if I know I'm not going to pick them to win the Natty? I don't know, but I'll take. I guess I have to do that with half these, whatever. But give me Ohio State. I'm gonna agree with you. Only because I've seen A&M be very, very vulnerable, and they've gotten away with it. And Ohio State really hasn't shown me to be vulnerable. Even with the loss to Indiana, they were like really competitive. Could have won the game here and there. So yeah, give me Ohio State to win that one. I like that pick. So Ohio State to the semis.
So then the next one would be Georgia going up against the winner of, I believe that would be Ole Miss and Tulane. Am I correct in that one?
Yeah, it's Ole Miss. So Georgia versus Ole Miss.
I think Georgia.
I think this is Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Georgia rolls in this one because once again, this is a different Ole Miss team. Granted, Ole Miss should have won the first time. They should have. They won that game by the end of the third quarter.
I just feel like Kirby's better in the games that mean more.
That too. That too. And especially Georgia having their head coach, having everything still around them, and Ole Miss being without their head coach, that's a big difference.
Yep.
So I think Georgia wins. Georgia wins big in this contest.
So we're looking pretty similar here, and that means that we have taken now 2 of the first round bye teams to win. Alabama versus Indiana is the next game I have on the docket. Or it would be it would be Oklahoma versus Indiana. So either way, Indiana, number 1 seed in the tournament. You had them facing Oklahoma. I had them facing Alabama. This could be a little different, or it could be the exact same. Who do you have winning against Indiana?
So in this one, my matchup being Oklahoma going up against Indiana, I think this is an elite defense for Oklahoma going up against I won't quite say elite defense in Indiana, but they're a very good defense. Going up against a high-powered offense in Indiana and a very lackluster offense in Oklahoma. And we've seen what Indiana has been able to do against against a very elite defense in Ohio State in that conference title game. It wasn't a lot, but it was just enough. And I think we're going to see that again against Oklahoma. I've got Indiana actually winning in this contest against Oklahoma. However, this is going to be a close game as well.
Right on. Yeah. So the reason why I chose Alabama to beat Oklahoma is because I think of the 2 teams, Alabama has a better chance of beating Indiana. I've been on Indiana's little hype train, I guess, all year, man. I've kind of wanted them to be good just because I wanted to see another competitor in the Big Ten. But call me a homer, but I think this is where you'll start seeing the curse of the number 1 seeds in the tournament starts becoming a thing. And so I'm going to take Alabama to actually pull the upset over Indiana. And I think that's going to shock the football world, but I don't think it's really going to shock me.
And can I interject with something here? Because if I did have Alabama beating Oklahoma, and I've got Alabama going up against Indiana, I think I agree with you. I think Alabama is a better matchup for Indiana than Oklahoma is for Indiana.
I'm glad that you say it that way because I thought you were going to call me crazy.
No, so if I had picked, I just think that the Oklahoma matchup for Alabama is a bad matchup.
It is a bad one. They've lost it twice now. It's a terrible matchup for Alabama. But you talk about a team in Alabama that lost early in the year, and what did they do after that? They rattled off like 5 straight ranked wins.
Mm-hmm.
So now you see Alabama dusting themselves off after that SEC championship, and what do I think they're going to do? I think, in my opinion, they're going to catch a little bit of a stride. I'm just going to say it. I don't think they're winning the Natty, but I think they pull an upset, and we've seen a team like Ohio State last year do it off of they lost the game to end the regular season, and they just go on a freaking run, right? And I'm not saying that Alabama's going to do that, but I'm saying that Indiana's a really good team. Off a really, really big win, how do they handle that? And
Yeah.
I don't think they're invincible. I mean, Penn State almost bit this team. It took a miracle freaking catch in the back of the end zone for Indiana to get by Penn State. So they're not unbeatable. It's just the team hasn't done it yet. And I think Alabama has a good chance to do it if they get by Oklahoma and they look good doing it. So
Yeah.
this is just me taking a shot here.
Yeah, so like I said, I agree with you. I think if Alabama was to get past Oklahoma, I do think that Alabama is a better matchup against Indiana, and I think they could pull that game off.
Yep.
But obviously, with me having picked Oklahoma, I think it's just a bad matchup for Oklahoma in the contest against Indiana. So I've got Indiana moving forward to the semifinals.
100%. That leaves us with the last game of the quarterfinals being we both pick Oregon. So I'm going to say Oregon and Texas Tech. Now, obviously, we'll preview these games once we get closer to them, but we're just filling out our bracket right now, right? So we got Oregon, we got Texas Tech. Michael, who you picking in this one?
So, kind of like you've been riding the Indiana hype train most of the season, I've been riding the Texas Tech hype train all season long.
Oregon is doing the same thing, though, right? You're not jumping off here, are you?
I am not.
Oh, okay.
I think, and I'll break it down a little bit. I think Oregon's a very good team. I think it's a team that, without their offensive coordinator, they're lacking a little bit, even though they're still a good team. I don't think the defense is near as good as it was last year, though. Texas Tech has got a fantastic offense. Matter of fact, I think their
defense too.
I think their offense, I know at one time it was number 2 in the country, right behind Tennessee. Obviously, things changed since that time. I do know that they're still a top 10, maybe even a top 5 offense in the country. But you pair that with a defense that is very good as well, which I wasn't expecting from Texas Tech. I wasn't expecting them to have as good of a defense as they did. And I think when you pair the two of those together, I think Texas Tech wins this ball game. I don't know what the spread would be in this one, but I think I would venture to say Texas Tech covers a spread.
I don't know if I'm taking them to cover. I'm joking. The spreads in the quarterfinals, I think, are going to be a lot tighter, right? You're going to see it between 4.5, 2.5, 1.5 type spreads. You're not going to see these touchdown big spreads. I don't think, in my opinion. You might see a touchdown between Indiana and Alabama, and I'm just straight up picking the upset. It is what it is. But I tend to agree with you, though. I think Texas Tech. I don't think they're gonna allow the whole we made it and not do anything with it. So I think Oregon is a tough matchup, but I think ultimately their defense will get them by. I mean, they got arguably one of the best linebackers in the nation, if not the best linebacker in the nation. Plays for Texas Tech, and as little ball as I know about Texas Tech, I do think they actually get it done against Oregon. And so that would put, and this is why I did this, because that would put me having the first round bye teams going 3-1, and there's going to be a team that loses. I'm just hoping that I called the right one. I do not see them sweeping it. There's absolutely no shot I see them sweeping these.
And see, this is where I'm nervous, because the way that I had it, I did have the bye teams sweeping.
Yep.
But I've got a feeling there's going to be a loss somewhere. But when I look at the matchups, here's what I will say. I think the matchups that I have, I think the best chance for a first round team to lose, I think it is that Texas A&M.
It's got to be
against Ohio State.
Oh, really? I would have thought you would have said the Texas Tech one. Honestly, I would have thought you would have said Texas Tech.
No, I think Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech's got that one. I'm not going to say unlock, but I feel very good about that game. I think that the game would be the Texas A&M Ohio State one, if there is one.
I hear you. All right, so we are now in the Final Four. Let's try to wrap this thing up real quick. I think we both have Ohio State, Georgia in one match.
We do.
And then the other match, you have Indiana versus Tech, and I have Alabama versus Tech.
Mm-hmm.
So down to the Final Four, and we only have one team different.
Yep.
So let's pick that Ohio State-Georgia game. And arguably, I would say this is your national championship game. But who do you have winning? Ohio State, Georgia. What a semifinal this would be. This would be.
So this is where, from SEC lovers, I'm going to get some hate because I do think that this is a very good matchup. I think that Ohio State's defense is elite. I don't think Georgia's defense is elite. I think they're very good. I don't think they're elite.
Well, you've seen them be vulnerable. Absolutely.
Yes. I think that Julian Sayin is a better quarterback than Gunnar Stockton, albeit Julian Sayin is not a world beater either. I think whichever team is able to establish a running game, and we haven't seen either team really most of the season just fully establish one. I think Ohio State has got a better chance of establishing a run game than Georgia. But I think it's whichever team can establish a running game in this contest is going to win. And I think Ohio State is going to get Georgia this time. I've got Ohio State in a close contest, winning and making their second straight national championship game.
Ooh, I like it. But I'm gonna keep it short and simple. I think Georgia gets by Ohio State. This is where I think this is just coming into play that I genuinely don't think Ohio State's going to be able to go back to back. And if they were to win this game over Georgia, they would go back to back. There's absolutely no shot they don't, in my opinion, at that point. I think this is the tougher game. No matter who would have won even if they had to rematch Indiana in your bracket, right? I still think they'd win pretty easily. But I've got Georgia getting by Ohio State, making it to. This comes from I've seen Georgia at their best, and to me, I think there's no team that can beat them when they're at their best. And their just will to find a way is got to be one of the most insane things I've ever seen. Like when Georgia, and obviously Georgia's lost a game or two, right? Like they're not invincible, but I don't know, man. Just the way Kirby's able to do it, I just think he's going to be able to pull it out. I think he's going to be able to pull it out. So give me Georgia to beat Ohio State.
All right, so the other matchup, I have got Indiana and Texas Tech. You have Alabama and Texas Tech.
That's correct.
So what say you on Alabama versus Texas Tech?
Alabama versus Texas Tech. And yes, the storylines get kind of crazy because this game would actually be before the other game. So this game's a day before the Ohio State Georgia game. So, or technically, if we're talking, this is the Verbo. We're about to predict the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. We just predicted the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. But the Verbo Fiesta Bowl is on January 8th, whereas the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is on January 9th. So Alabama, Texas Tech is who I have in the matchup for the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. And I genuinely have no clue. But I'm a ride with Tech just because Alabama is beatable. And Texas Tech is too. Don't get me wrong. But it's plain and simple. I don't think Kalen DeBoer can go from hot seat to winning or going to the national championship game. So I think he'll make some noise. I think they'll get close. And I may just be lighting up my bracket at this point. I don't care. I'm trying to call some shots here. I wanted to make it interesting. But I'll take Tech. So I have basically Georgia versus Texas Tech in my national championship game.
So I've got Indiana and Texas Tech. I think that as far as my bracket goes, you've got two of the best matchups as far as teams going against each other.
I agree. My semifinal rounds is insane. Like I would watch that all day.
I think that Georgia and Ohio State is a fantastic matchup. I think that they match up well against each other. I think Texas Tech and Indiana match up well against each other. I think you got two really good defenses going up against two really good offenses in this game. And I personally think that Texas Tech has got just a little bit better offense. I think the Texas Tech wins this game.
Dang it.
I think that it's close, though. I think both of these contests are very close, and I've got Texas Tech advancing to the national title.
I did not have me and you both having Texas Tech making it to the Natty on our bingo. I did not have that on the 2025 bingo card. Not even a little bit. Like I thought I was really on an island on my own when I made this bracket, and I was like, okay, yeah, there's no way he's got this. But lo and behold, we got Tech in the Natty. And if you're asking me right now, it doesn't even matter. Georgia probably wins the Natty by like 30 points, and they win the Natty. Like I see that happening. Like I don't know why I see that happening, but it's almost like I feel like Tech would be like, oh my god, we just got to the Natty, and then just drop a ball. And I think that's where Kirby's going to absolutely pull the everybody's doubting us. We made it this far just to come this far. Like I don't know. I just feel like Georgia will win the Natty, and I think the national championship game will be one of their easiest games to win. And I do not like the matchup between Georgia and Tech. I really don't. But give me Georgia to win it all.
Do you want a hot take about the matchup between Texas Tech and Georgia?
Sure.
I think it's a matchup nightmare the other way around.
Fair enough.
I think Texas Tech is a matchup nightmare for Georgia, and I think in your scenario there of Georgia versus Texas Tech, I think Tech wins that game. I'm not going to say it's going to be a big spread, but I think that Tech's offense is really good. I think that they can score points at will against Georgia's defense.
I think they will.
I think that Tech's defense is good enough that they can cause some turnovers for Georgia. And I just don't know if Gunnar Stockton can go out and win a national title for Georgia. So in your scenario, I would have Texas Tech winning.
Fair enough.
I've got Texas Tech and Ohio State. And I actually did a video with Eric Boggs, our good friend from the OHIO podcast. He's also the host of the College Huddle channel. We did a playoff bracket ourselves as well. And so far, every single game I have picked to this point has been the exact same. But I think in this one, I'm going to change my pick. In the bracket with Eric, I had Ohio State winning the national title. I think that Texas Tech's offense is better than Ohio State's. Granted, I think Ohio State's defense is better than Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech caught lightning in a bottle this year, and they're going to win their first ever national championship in a very close game against Ohio State.
Nice.
And I also think going forward, Texas Tech is here to stay. They're going to be
that is a fact
runner.
because the money they got down there. Yeah,
they're going to be the front runner in the Big 12 every single year, and they've got all that oil money down there.
Yeah, that's a fact. No, Texas Tech is here to stay. They just needed to be able to play. Dude, they paid a softball player from Tennessee like $1 million. Softball, dude. Like, come on, get out of here. So yeah, you're not wrong on that. But Tech to be the Natty, that's go make that bet. I'm sure you're going to cash in a lot. I bet you that's a lot of money if you were to make that futures bet right now that Tech's going to win the national championship.
I am curious. I'll have to look it up. What the odds
what's
are.
Action 247 saying on that one right now?
Yeah, let me
to win the Natty.
Yeah, let me get to work on looking that up. But last thing before we pull Jake on here and I give our segment 3 sponsor, we did not give upset pick of the week last week from the conference title games, but I will pull it up this week as in conference title weekend. Skylar and I actually both went 3-3 overall. As well,
that's unfortunate.
My correct picks were Troy to cover against James Madison, Tulane to win, and Texas Tech to win. Skylar's correct picks were Texas Tech to win, Georgia to win, and Duke to win. I did get one extra point for also I picked Troy as my upset pick of the week. And because they covered, I did get the extra point in that one for the spread cover.
I should have made Duke my upset pick, bro.
Yeah.
Because I picked them outright, didn't I? And I
did.
Were they a double-digit dog, though?
I don't think they were.
I don't think they were either, because I think I would have done that. But I think they were like 4.5-point dogs. But either way, I'm so proud that I picked Duke. That was you talk about chaos.
So let's see. I don't know if there's any good double-digit games before we come on next Tuesday that we might pick.
No, not by next.
Really, it's just the Tulane game and the James Madison game.
That's in fact that's it. So I'm cool with not picking one unless you.
No, yeah. I'm good with not picking one this week. But that's the standing so far. shortened up a little bit, but Skylar does still hold an 8-game lead on me, and we still got the entire playoffs to go through this.
Are we
So,
counting the playoff bracket as our picks, or are we going to resurface those?
no, we can resurface those as it comes up. That's just our bracket as of now.
Well, I'm gonna try to stick to it, man. I like that bracket. I like it a lot. I like the semifinals. I don't know what's gonna happen in the semifinals, but I like Alabama for some reason. Man, if he loses that first game to Oklahoma, it'll be too good. You talk about a hedge bet and a half that worked out perfectly. That would be so good. That's cinema for a Tennessee fan. So, but anyways, man, let's bring on Jake, and let's also give our segment 3 sponsor.
Yeah, so our segment 3 sponsor, you already know it is Kaizen Painting. Do you want a colorful life? Kaizen is a painting and drywall company that provides residential, commercial, exterior, and interior services. At Kaizen Painting, we understand the importance of a beautifully painted home and properly installed and repaired drywall. We're here to bring your vision to life. We care about providing you with a personalized, efficient, and quality service. Whether you live in Knoxville and surroundings, contact us for a free estimate at KaizenPainting.com. Color your life the Kaizen way. So let's bring on the man, the myth, the legend, Jake Arnold himself.
What's up?
Swap on over here. You're in hiding after conference championship weekend.
He is in the air.
Let's
it's like
see,
Willy
Jake
Wonka in the
Arnold.
Chocolate Factory, and we're waiting on him to
There he is.
show up on the screen. There he is.
There I am.
How you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. Just y'all
Are
made
we?
me fly by the seat of my pants because I had so much going on, but I feel good about my picks, with the exception of one that was a recommendation to me. So, all is well and all is fair.
I'm just glad that somebody recommended a pick to you because it can't be any worse than I'm joking.
Oh, it could be worse.
It
It
could
could
be?
be a lot worse.
Could be a lot worse.
Could you imagine like an 0-80? Could you imagine that?
You would almost have to try to do that. Actually,
Well, the way I pick, yeah. I mean, you're right because I'm basically picking, spreads. I went a little bit more conservative this week,
right.
trying to bump up numbers.
Money line on everything, right?
Practically.
Give me just a second to pull up the standings. I'm pretty sure I have this accurate. I could be.
I think he's like 3 games below 500, ain't he?
It's more than that now.
Is it more than that now? Oh no!
I could feel a 5, probably a full 5 at least.
Oh man,
it's a full 5 what I got. So
that's what I was thinking.
One more second here, and
we don't have to put that up there. I mean, it's cool.
I kind of want to see it. 36 and 41.
God, what an ugly number.
All right, you can take it down.
Championship week 1 and 4.
Championship week was bad to you. It was so bad to you. But it's okay. We're here. We're live. We're dusting the shoulders off. And
are we?
Yes.
I mean,
you got to be confident this week.
We'll do the best bet, for the first one because you alluded to it. Miami versus Texas A&M at Texas A&M. You're telling me that this is a money line they're going to give me?
Oh my God!
Now they're giving us minus like 3.5 is what this
chat
opened up
chat.
at. Okay.
Chat. I did not pre-plan this. This is like when I alluded saying, "Hey, is this the best bet?" I actually didn't know. So this is nice and very much reconfirming how I feel about this game. So yeah, actually, you have a losing record. Am I now worried about that or? No, A&M's winning this game, dude. That's a fact.
I didn't go with the spread because
and you didn't even cover. Yeah, you're not even saying A&M's going to cover the 3.5 or whatever it is. So you're just taking a money line.
I'm trying
a little bit less money
positive.
here, but that's okay. I mean, maybe
take
minus
the 3.5 if you're feeling crazy. I mean, I think that's what it's at on Action 247.
I wouldn't just because A&M likes to keep it close sometimes, but I mean,
they do.
Yeah, but I like this money line bet. Absolutely, you bet $5 to win maybe 3.5. That's okay. That's a win.
Yeah. It's a win. And you want to see, do you want to see the SEC succeed? Who knows? It doesn't matter.
That's not really why I'm picking this game. If I'm being
no.
100% honest, I'm picking this game the way I did because I genuinely don't think Miami is a good team.
I think they're talented. I think they're a talented team. I don't think that they are good. I don't think they're disciplined. I think Texas A&M losing is kind of the same fashion that would happen to Ohio State last year when they lost to Michigan. You had a good team, had a blemish on the record, and then you go out and you go on a tear. I mean, dude, Elko is one of those guys that will light a fire under you.
I can see that.
Like, you see what I'm saying? I really like this team. I think they could win big.
I think the first week winners, man, I think that does play a role into this tournament. I think there's a lot to be said about that first round bye almost being a bad thing for these teams.
It could be.
But I just look at Miami the way I look at, I don't know, like a JMU, a Tulane, a team that got in there on a technicality. Not that Miami did. They technically got in as an at-large, but to me, I feel like they got in because the ACC got left out, and that was like their last, hoorah.
I mean,
and so
Miami's probably, if you take out the are they ranked the worst at large if you take out the conference winners?
Yes, I believe so. Yes,
okay.
They're the 10 seed. Yep.
I mean, Texas A&M was looking to be a 1 or 2 seed. I mean, there was an argument
up until losing to Texas. Yep.
Yeah, there's an argument if A&M beats Texas, regardless of what happened with Indiana. Well, probably not. They would probably give it to Indiana. But there's an argument there that you could have seen Texas A&M as number 1 overall, pending that. Now, I really just think it's kind of one of those things where you have a cursed game. It happens to a lot of us. I hate to bring up what happened at Vanderbilt. We were cursed from the jump. Neyland was quiet. I think the same kind of thing happened with A&M with Texas. I think they know who Big Brother is, regardless how good or bad a team is. I'm not saying Vanderbilt's Big Brother. Please don't undertake that. But there was some bad mojo around that game. So I like A&M. I think
you heard it here first, folks. Jake said that Vanderbilt's actually Big Brother. So.
And I'm gonna disagree with when we went up 21-14, I felt great, but when they got like the back-to-back personal foul penalties to end the half,
can I say something?
That was garbage.
I left with 4 minutes to go in the first half at the Tennessee Vanderbilt game.
Fair enough, but I'm telling you,
I knew they had us the whole game. I don't care what the score was. If we were leading, they had us.
Fair enough. The defense was playing like crap to begin with, but I do think the defense made the stops they needed to make at the end of the half, and they just kept the rough and the pass. The rough
that
and the
was
pass.
Obnoxious.
The rough and the passer call was stupid.
I was watching that walking out, and I just couldn't believe it.
I will stand by the fact that was the dumbest call I've ever seen in my life. He didn't even finish the tackle. Like whatever.
All bad.
It's
all bad.
It's all over.
Whatever. Because we're going back to winning. We can't lose. We're going to beat Indiana, but we're going to win even more on these bets. That's how this is going to go.
So what's the next one we got on the docket?
Oh man, Alabama doesn't lose to a team twice.
Well, they have lost to this team twice.
Yeah,
actually.
Cool. Well, was it back-to-back years?
Yeah, I mean technically they lost to them last year and then this year.
Well, it doesn't happen a second time
in the same season. I agree. All right, dude. I'm now nervous about all my picks. Okay, here we go.
I feel good about my pick on this one.
Alabama's the better team. It's at Oklahoma, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I just love Alabama.
Ron says the calls were ridiculous. I'm so glad that somebody agrees with me. All right.
Alabama's the better team.
Alabama is.
I don't disagree with you on this one, Jake. Absolutely.
I think they have the more potential. If that's what you're defining as a better team, maybe.
Who am I taking? What 22 on a roster take out everything else would I rather have?
The thing that's hindering me about Alabama is their running game sucks so bad.
Mm-hmm. It does. Well, they got some time to get healthy too, even if it's a third
that's fair.
Running
but
back.
That's the only thing that's holding me back. But with Oklahoma, dude, they can't score points.
And Alabama turned the ball over quite a bit against Oklahoma.
They did. I think 3 times.
And again, I think that if you look at what Ty Simpson is, I think it's kind of. I think the Oklahoma game kind of took him out of the Heisman conversation.
Yeah, let's talk about Alabama's offensive line. They got to improve too.
Yeah,
but
I think they're younger.
I do think their ceiling's better. I do think their ceiling's better.
I just Alabama would love to have this one. Alabama, I think we still got Saban guys, right? We still got guys who have worked under Saban who are leaders on this team that have been in these environments that know what to expect.
Same. This is called a hedge bet, Rhonda. Learn about it. We are pulling for Oklahoma, but we're betting Alabama. That's why it's a win-win.
Lose.
It's a win-win there.
It's a 6-7.
I will sacrifice $5. I will sacrifice $5 to watch Alabama lose. This is the way I look at it. Okay. But if they win, I'll win $5. Okay. So it's just that's how we do it around here.
Yeah, this one I like. I like this one, and I went back and forth because there's 2 big spreads I have. I wanted to stay in line with the college football playoffs. Oregon by as many as they'd like.
I'm loving my picks this week because Jake is going against every single one of them except Texas A&M.
Who cares about Will Stein? I'm just thinking as a defensive guy what I had to do on Sundays, and it was like, okay, I got to break down the film from Gus Malzahn in high school, wherever he's coached ball at, and now I just threw out every tendency out the window.
I think Jay goes 5-0.
I'm feeling it right now, and the only bet is the one that I was referred that I don't like, and I typically don't love my picks because it's been weird weeks. This feels great. JMU's played nobody.
Yeah, JMU may actually lose by 40 points. Like I'm
bad. They lost to Louisville by 2 touchdowns.
Louisville.
That game was not as bad as what the score ended up making it look like.
Yeah,
that's Louisville.
Isn't bad.
They couldn't even make the ACC championship.
Are you going to
be
saying that when this is like 52-7? Maybe 52-7. I don't know if JMU.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not
like
be that much,
JMU could actually lose by 40.
Dude, Dan Lanning is on meth. That
Dan
guy
Lanning don't give a crap, bro.
Yeah, that guy is going to lose his crap.
I'm telling you, and the fact that he's going to be so pissed off about what happened last year in this same spot, dude.
I mean, again, I think that losing Will Stein is actually a blessing from this at least round 1 because you have nothing. You have no tape. Who's the offensive coordinator for Oregon? Somebody tell me.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's awesome.
Who is it?
Dude,
the quarterback coach.
You know who the hardest people to play?
That could be a plus. That could be a plus for for Oklahoma. It could be a minus. Sorry, not Oklahoma, for Oregon. It could be a minus as well because who is calling plays? Are they going to be able to play for this guy?
All I know
they had a month to prepare for it. And
is Billy Napier coaching this game? I know he's not, but I mean, you're sitting there as JMU, you're like, wow, we made the playoffs. Oh, Billy Napier's coming in. I mean, I just see trajectory, and I see Oregon like losing their mind in this game. And I just saw their uniform combination. They're definitely winning those unis.
I mean, the win's not a doubt. It's just a matter of if they cover here.
It's by as many as they'd like. I am telling you.
Rhonda, you were very smart. Don't ever get started in it because this is why we're losing money with Jake this year, is because he can't see past his biases either.
It's true.
It's okay. It's okay. I agree with these picks so far.
100% writing this down.
Please do, because I think Jake goes 5-0. I'm calling my shot. Jake goes 5-0 this week. I don't even know what the last pick is.
Well, no, this is the one that is the only one that I have not a lot of feel on. It's just I've got a guy. He used to coach. My boss, funny enough, I don't know if I've gone into this. Skylar knows my boss, Vince Lewis, State Farm, shout out. He is a former Western Kentucky coach. He coached at Purdue. He's coached at Western. He's coached at Tennessee. The guy told me to make this bet, okay? And he's been right on every single time that he's told me to take Western Kentucky, and I've never listened to him. So I'm doing it. This is the only time I'm thinking I might go 4-1. This is the one bet that I have no clue on. I have no stats on other than Western Kentucky plays in a better conference, was in the conference championship.
I tell you what.
I have good advisors.
If he goes 4-1 because this is the game that he misses, we're scratching the game.
This is the game that I feel best about, other than the Miami game, in my humble opinion.
Nah, Western Kentucky.
Dude,
does anybody even know what are their
Big Red? You know what this is? This came from Western Kentucky right here. That's big time.
Over Southern Miss? Southern Missouri?
Southern Miss is without their head coach. He just went to Memphis.
All right.
So basically what you're telling me then is, so he left Marshall last year to go to Southern Miss. His entire team followed him.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is he's gone to Memphis, and that entire team's following him to Memphis next year?
I didn't say that. You said that.
Memphis is going to be the group of 5 team to make the playoffs next year because his team follows him again.
Let's throw a 6 in there and have a great future bet, because all my future bets, let's not even count those for this season.
I feel good about this one now.
Yeah.
I feel good about 5. I still feel good about 5-0. I'm sticking with it.
This is the only one y'all don't like, and it goes back to what happens when you lose.
Skylar likes this one.
I like this pick.
I mean, what the final score last time they played this season
35.
was 45 to 10. Yes, a 35-point margin.
35 points they won by. You
just have to win by half as much as you did last time.
Right. I like this pick.
I don't think that Tulane will have a clue what the game plan for. And we all love our jobs here, right? We all like what we do.
Well, it depends on if my
It depends
buyout is more than what. Because if my buyout's nice, I don't like my job at all.
Skylar's on to something there.
Like, I will rip this hoodie off so quick if you're telling me I could get fired and get paid more than what I even like made.
The Band-Aid has been ripped off. Okay, the Band-Aid is off. I'm telling you, you can't work 2 jobs and be as successful in one as you can at 2. You can only be successful.
You're 100% right, because he's already having to recruit for Florida. At the same time, he's trying to get a team ready to go play in a playoff.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right,
Florida.
Jake.
Well, this way for y'all.
But here's the thing. I'm actually thinking that right now he's working harder to make sure Tulane has success than he is to make sure that he's got success.
No, dude.
That guy's getting promised $1 million to win a natty.
I was gonna say, don't feed into the tenderheartedness. Look, that's just college football, man. That's the way it is.
Tulane can give him $10K if he wins.
He's got to say the soft stuff to stay on everybody's good side because he's literally coaching the team in the press conference. I can promise you, behind closed doors, he does not care about the future of Tulane football.
Yeah, it's great recruiting if you donate $100,000. It shows that you're committed to a program. What is that? I'm sorry. If anybody
I can't fathom the fact that he's head coaching a team and then recruiting a player to say, no, you need to go to Florida with us. Like,
yeah. And then here to add on. Okay, let's just assume everybody's had injuries this year. Who do you think can afford more injuries? Because we're starting to narrow down on depth chart. Tulane's got 22 dudes who can play. Ole Miss got like 44 dudes who can play. Now, I'm not saying great, but at least can play. And so, I just think this is another recipe for disaster. I think Ole Miss wins. I don't think Lane Kiffin affects it because I got, funny enough, shout out Jay Shoup. Want to give a shout out to him. He was a scout team guy that I had at Tennessee. His dad's Bob
Shout out
Shoup.
Jay.
He just took the inside linebacker's job at Ole Miss. He is about a year younger than me, making $250,000 a year as the inside linebackers coach. I trust anybody he follows because that guy knows way more ball than anybody I've ever met. The guy is fired up about Pete Golding. Pete Golding is a guy who should have that job at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is not a sexy job. Lane Kiffin's made the optics look like it's a sexy job. I still think Ole Miss has a heck of a talented roster. And I don't see this being a problem. And I think it's the same kind of problem Oregon has. Hey, you lost your offensive guru. Whatever. I don't care. You can't game plan against me as much. So 5-0. Let's go 5-0.
I like it.
Yep.
I feel
and
really
for anybody
good
watching, this is our Ranking with Jake segment. Guys, please remember to bet responsibly. We are brought to you by Action 247 Sports, the local bookie out of Nashville. If you want to sign up today, just download the app, Action 247, use promo code VolFanatics, and it helps us out, helps you out as well. But yeah, if you do have that gambling problem, if it's Christmas time and you don't have that extra money to just have fun with it and it be an entertainment source for you, if you're having to rely on it to make a payment on a mortgage, probably shouldn't be doing that. And you probably need to reach out to the hotline, 800-1-800-889-9789. Don't be afraid to seek help, guys. It's better to admit our wrongs and get help and stop the hole where it's at rather than to continue to dig until you cannot pull yourself back out of that hole. So, guys, again, this is just for entertainment purposes. This is just to have fun. Again, I kid you not when I say that most of my bets are like $1 to $2, but I do the stupidest crap. I have like 10 leg parlays because I don't even care. But it's entertainment purposes, right? Mm-hmm. So, when I'm ranking with Jake, I try to take a little bit more serious. I put $5 on a bet, and that way I can win like $3 if I actually win one. But with Jake this year, it's been a little bit harder to do that. But no, I mean, seriously, this is just for fun. This is to give ourselves a chance to, like, for me, right? I bet on Butch Jones tonight. Why? I don't know, but it's just so I can watch the game and actually have something. I put $4 on it. And right now he's winning. So there it is. But no, guys, seriously, just be smart about it. And like I said, if you can't, please reach out to that number right there and get some help, man. Action 247, we appreciate you.
So I do have one WTF pick for this week. I will say, conference title week was not the best for me either. 1-2 that week.
Oh, I know this one.
Still 16-7 overall.
You're not gonna like it. You're definitely not picking it.
What's that?
It's Alabama. Wrong
That
team
is
favorite.
not it. That is
I know
not
it's
it.
not it, but I'm telling you right now. Go ahead and keep my record. It's gonna be 1-0 after this week.
My WTF pick for this week. It actually has to do with a former Vol assistant coach. As my WTF pick for this week is Kennesaw State plus 3.5 against Western Michigan. Has anybody kept up with what former running backs coach at Tennessee, Jerry Mack, has done at Kennesaw State?
He's done a good job. Won a conference title, didn't he?
He took a Kennesaw State program then their first year in the FBS, went, I believe, 2-10. And in his first year, they went 10-3 overall and won the Conference USA title this year.
He'll be a head coach somewhere soon.
And they're a 3.5-point underdog against Western Michigan.
Somewhere bigger than Kennesaw State.
Let's see, what bowl is this? This game is actually tomorrow. This is the Myrtle Beach Bowl that they're playing in. So it's also fairly close to home for Kennesaw
I think
State.
that anybody could just buy a bowl. Like, I might buy a bowl. Call it the Vol Fanatics Bowl.
Let's go into it together, man. It's gonna be a fantastic thing.
But
But
the Vol Fanatics Bowl featuring Missouri versus
Missouri versus Vanderbilt.
whatever.
Yeah,
Fine.
but no, Kennesaw State plus 3.5 against Western Michigan is gonna be my WTF pick for this week, and I feel pretty good about that one.
Give me Alabama over Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's not the best bet. So, one thing that we did talk about earlier, Skylar, we were looking at the odds for Texas Tech to win the CFP.
Yeah.
So they have the 5th best odds right now. It's plus 850 according to Action 247.
I mean, you put $10 on it, you win 85, dog. Like that's solid bet right there for how confident you are that Texas Tech's gonna win this thing out. Again, a lot of this.
You said Georgia, correct? That's who you had.
Yeah, they have the 3rd best odds.
Do you know what the odds are?
Probably 350
plus 600.
Oh, might have to do that.
The 2 best odds right now: Ohio State is plus 195, Indiana is plus 320.
What's
Georgia? Georgia is plus 600. Oregon is plus 750.
I almost want to put and I say $1 because it's going to win me 10. I almost want to put a little bit of money on Alabama.
What's JMU?
Look,
JMU is going to be plus like 80,000.
close. JMU and Tulane both have the same odds, plus 74,900.
Dang, I was right, dude. Oh my God. Yeah, they're not winning it. But Alabama, realistically, is a team that's got the talent to win it. They just got to get hot. What is Alabama's odds?
Alabama and Ole Miss both have the same odds at plus 2,200.
Wow.
Texas A&M is at plus 1,800. Miami is at plus 2,700.
Yeah.
Oklahoma has worse odds than that at plus 5,000.
Yeah, I agree because I don't think they're
going to
going
win it.
But I think Alabama's got the
They
talent.
can. Like, that's where I'm confused. I'm a little confused.
That's
on some of
almost
these
worth
odds.
the $3 to win like 25 for Alabama.
Y'all might disagree with me on this, but you know where I think the best value lies in these
Tulane.
teams right here? No, absolutely not. I think the best value lies in Texas A&M plus 1,800 because if they get past Ohio State in the quarters, I think they can get past, we'll say, Georgia, and I think they can get past either Tech or Indiana on the other side.
Fair
I'd
enough.
love to see an A&M Tech game. That'd be crazy.
That would be awesome.
I think this playoffs has the potential to not just be all chalky, but then again, we both kind of predicted it to be mostly chalky. I mean, Michael predicted the first round buys to go undefeated, which I don't think is going to happen.
And I don't think it will either. I just, the way that the matchups play, I don't know, man. It's
I like JMU.
I feel like there's gonna you just dog crapped all over JMU earlier, and now you're saying you like JMU. Okay.
Hey, a bettor's mind is way different than. No, I'm joking. Well, all right, fellas. I appreciate y'all for another great night, great evening. Appreciate all the listeners and the viewers sticking with us all night. Big announcement. Again, this is the last show you will see on Thursday night. Moving forward, including this next week, right before Christmas, we will be going live on Tuesday nights from now on for multiple reasons. Michael's work schedule, my work schedule, I think it just works out better that way. But also, we put out a lot of content, and it's just a lot easier to get it out there before the weekend if we can have this thing done on Tuesday night versus Thursday night. So, all in all, I feel like it's going to be for the better. I think our viewer count's a lot better on Tuesday nights than it is on Thursday nights. I think maybe Thursday Night Football has something to do with that. I don't know. I would never choose NFL over college, but here we are. Yep. But no, I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be for the best, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday nights moving forward. Guys, y'all have anything in closing?
No, just everyone, we will be back before Christmas, but I do want to say for those that might not be back with us next Tuesday, I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, have a safe holidays with all of your families, but make sure that you do come back in, tune in next Tuesday as we'll get to talk a little bit about the opening round of the CFP playoffs, and then basketball. Might get to talk about some basketball, as I actually have had the game from this past week on during the entire show. Fantastic win. I'm super excited to start talking about that. We'll definitely do that soon as they're going to get ready to start conference play. But no, I think that's all that I've got. Either one of y'all got anything else?
Nope.
Go Vols,
all
baby.
Right, man. Yeah, go Big Orange, everybody.